Today we'll be talking about how to shape an angle iron on a welding project using an angle grinder. This right here is an angle grinder. It can be cordless or have a cord. The handheld angle grinder would be the most useful for shaping an angle iron in order to get into the right spots. The job steps are as followed. You first want to inspect the equipment and the wires and its PPE to make sure it's not damaged. You then want to check the guard to make sure that's in the right place and not damaged either. Then you want to secure the angle iron, plug in the grinder, turn on the grinder and begin grinding the angle iron, and then turn off the machine and wait until it's completely stopped moving before putting it down. The OSHA standards that fall under this job are 1910 section 243. All handheld power drills, taper, fasten drivers, horizontal, vertical, and angle grinders with wheels greater than 2 inches in diameter, disc sanders with discs greater than 2 inches in diameter, belt sanders, reciprocating saws, saber scrolls, and jigsaws with blade shanks greater than a nominal 1/4 inch, and other similarly operating power tools shall be equipped with a constant pressure switch or control and may have a lock-on control, provided that turn-off can be accomplished by a single motion of the same finger or fingers that turn it on. Section 1910-243, all other handheld power tools such as, but not limited to, plate and sanders, grinders with wheels 2 inches in diameter or less, disc sanders with discs 2 inches in diameter or less, routers, planners, laminate trimmers, nibblers, shears, saber scrolls, and jigsaws with blade shanks and a nominal 1/4 of an inch wide or less may be equipped with either a positive on-off control or other controls as described by paragraph 2AI and II of this section. The last one would be 1910-243. Blades shall stop rotating from the manufacturer's specified maximum speed within 15 seconds after declutching or shutting off the power. Right here we have our required PPE. Eye and hearing protection is required for operating a grinder. We have our eye protection right here. Make sure nothing gets in your eyes. It is recommended that you use a full face mask due to the flying sparks. The sparks can fly during operation, so eye protection is important. Work gloves are also required just in case the grinder were to slip and hit the hand. A welding jacket is recommended because of the flying sparks, and then they can cause burns to the skin if your skin is exposed. Work boots are recommended to prevent falling pieces from hurting the feet. You should also wear respiratory protection as needed when grinding potentially harmful objects. The hazards of this job is that the blade could shatter from overuse, causing flying projectiles. Could also break from too much pressure or hitting an object wrong. Flying sparks could catch something on fire and burn your skin. There are also hazards associated with flammables in the area, so you want to keep your work area clean of anything flammable. Cuts, abrasions, and lacerations from misuse or kickback of the grinder can cause serious injuries. Ergonomic hazards are due to the vibration of the tool and also the way you are standing while using the tool. You want to wait for the blade to completely stop moving before putting the tool down.
Other hazards associated when using the angle grinder include the inhalation of dust and fumes that are generated from the grinding, noise hazards from the grinding. It is also important to make sure the cord is not damaged before plugging it in, which could cause electrocutions, especially if it is not grounded correctly. In addition, operator fatigue causes the operator to use their body weight for stability, which makes them stand closer to the machine. Next, most importantly, how to be safe. Only use the handle that came with the grinder from the manufacturer. Make sure to always have a good grip on the grinder to prevent kickback. The guard should always be on the grinder in the correct placement while operating. Make sure to replace the blade periodically to prevent overuse, and perform the ring test to test the blade before using it. Make sure to inspect the grinder before use to make sure it isn't damaged, and never use a grinder around flammables. Always wear the corrected PPE for the job, and do not wear loose-fitting clothing or have hanging strings that could be caught. If you don't know, consult a competent person if you are unsure. how to use the tool safely. Here we have a few examples of grinders that have been taken out of service. Right here we have a grinder with a damaged cord and no guard. Here we have another grinder with a damaged cord, and this one right here doesn't have the blade on it, but that's not really a problem. But what is it's also damaged on the on and off switch. Over there we have a grinder that has been damaged, and here we have a cord that has been damaged, which all have been taken out of service. Why should we be cautious when using the angle grinder? Well, there were 7 total angle grinder related deaths that were investigated by OSHA in the last 3 years. 3 were a result from electrical shock, 2 were a result of kickback, and 2 were a result of disintegrating discs. A few examples. On December 12, 2005, a 30-year-old man died from blood loss after his leg was cut by an angle grinder. On January 11, 2006, a grinding disc spun off a grinder and struck a person in the kneecap. Stitches were required. Third example, in March of 2008, a contractor was struck in the neck when a grinder kickback resulted in 30 stitches. In conclusion, the grinder is a great tool and is frequently used on construction sites all over the world. However, it is very important to never become comfortable or complacent while using this tool, because it can be very dangerous if used without caution or by an individual who has not been trained on how to properly and safely operate the machine. It is vital to always follow safety procedures and precautions regarding wearing proper PPE and taking safe actions to ensure one's safety as well as the safety of those around the operator. Thank you.